Chapter 8 Al Anfal, the spoils of war. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. They ask you, O Muhammad, about the bounties of war. Say, the decision concerning bounties is for God and the Messenger. So fear God and amend that which is between you and obey God and His Messenger, if you should be believers. The believers are only those who, when God is mentioned, their hearts become fearful, and when His verses are recited to them, it increases them in faith, and upon their Lord they rely. The ones who establish prayer, and from what we have provided them, they spend. Those are the believers, truly. For them are degrees of high position with their Lord, and forgiveness and noble provision. It is just as when your Lord brought you out of your home for the battle of Badr in truth, while indeed a party among the believers were unwilling, arguing with you concerning the truth after it had become clear, as if they were being driven toward death while they were looking on. Remember, O believers, when God promised you one of the two groups, that it would be yours, and you wished that the unarmed one would be yours. But God intended to establish the truth by His words and to eliminate the disbelievers. That He should establish the truth and abolish falsehood, even if the criminals disliked it. Remember, when you asked help of your Lord, and He answered you, indeed, I will reinforce you with 1,000 from the angels, following one another. And God made it not but good tidings, and so that your hearts would be assured thereby. And victory is not but from God. Indeed, God is exalted in might and wise. Remember, when He overwhelmed you with drowsiness, giving security from Him, and sent down upon you from the sky rain by which to purify you and remove from you the evil suggestions of Satan, and to make steadfast your hearts and plant firmly thereby your feet. Remember, when your Lord inspired to the angels, I am with you, so strengthen those who have believed. I will cast terror into the hearts of those who disbelieved, so strike them upon the necks and strike from them every fingertip. That is because they opposed God and His Messenger, and whoever opposes God and His Messenger, indeed, God is severe in penalty. That is yours, so taste it. And indeed, for the disbelievers is the punishment of the fire. O you who have believed, when you meet those who disbelieve advancing for battle, do not turn to them your backs in fight. And whoever turns his back to them on such a day, unless swerving as a strategy for war or joining another company, has certainly returned with anger upon him from God, and his refuge is hell, and wretched is the destination. And you did not kill them, but it was God who killed them. And you threw not, O Muhammad, when you threw, but it was God who threw, that He might test the believers with a good test. Indeed, God is hearing and knowing. That is so, and also that God will weaken the plot of the disbelievers. If you disbelievers seek the decision that is victory, the decision that is defeat has come to you. And if you desist from hostilities, it is best for you, but if you return to war, we will return, and never will you be availed by your large company at all, even if it should increase, and that is because God is with the believers. O you who have believed, obey God and His Messenger, and do not turn from Him while you hear His order. And do not be like those who say, We have heard while they do not hear. Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of God are the deaf and dumb, who do not use reason, that is, the disbelievers. Had God known any good in them, He would have made them hear. And if He had made them hear, they would still have turned away while they were refusing. O you who have believed, respond to God and to the messenger when He calls you to that which gives you life. And know that God intervenes between a man and his heart, and that to Him you will be gathered. And fear a trial which will not strike those who have wronged among you exclusively, and know that God is severe in penalty. And remember when you were few and oppressed in the land, fearing that people might abduct you, but He sheltered you, supported you with His victory, and provided you with good things, that you might be grateful. O you who have believed, do not betray God and the messenger, or betray your trust while you know the consequence. And know that your properties and your children are but a trial, and that God has with Him a great reward. O you who have believed, if you fear God, He will grant you a criterion and will remove from you your misdeeds and forgive you. And God is the possessor of great bounty. And remember, O Muhammad, when those who disbelieved plotted against you to restrain you, or kill you, or evict you from Makkah, but they planned and God plans, and God is the best of planners. And when our verses are recited to them, they say, "We have heard. If we willed, we could say something like this." This is not but legends of the former peoples. And remember when they said, "O God, if this should be the truth from you, then rain down upon us stones from the sky or bring us a painful punishment." But God would not punish them while you, O Muhammad, are among them, and God would not punish them while they seek forgiveness. But why should God not punish them while they obstruct people from Al Masjid al Haram and they were not fit to be its guardians? Its true guardians are not but the righteous, but most of them do not know. And their prayer at the house, that is the Kaaba, was not except whistling and hand clapping. So taste the punishment for what you disbelieved, that is, practiced of deviation. Indeed, those who disbelieve spend their wealth to avert people from the way of God, so they will spend it, then it will be for them a source of regret, then they will be overcome. And those who have disbelieved, unto hell they will be gathered. This is so that God may distinguish the wicked from the good and place the wicked, some of them, upon others, and heap them all together and put them into hell. It is those who are the losers. Say to those who have disbelieved that if they cease, what has previously occurred will be forgiven for them. But if they return to hostility, then the precedent of the former rebellious peoples has already taken place. And fight them until there is no finish, and until the religion, that is worship, all of it is for God. And if they cease, then indeed God is seeing of what they do. But if they turn away, then know that God is your protector. Excellent is the protector, and excellent is the helper. And know that anything you obtain of war booty, then indeed, for God is 1/5 of it, and for the messenger, and for his near relatives, and the orphans, the needy, and the stranded traveler, if you have believed in God and in that which we send down to our servant on the day of criterion, that is decisive encounter, the day when the two armies met at Badr, and God over all things is competent. Remember when you were on the near side of the valley and they were on the farther side, and the caravan was lower in position than you? If you had made an appointment to meet, you would have missed the appointment, but it was so that God might accomplish a matter already destined, that those who perished through disbelief would perish upon evidence, and those who lived in faith would live upon evidence. And indeed, God is hearing and knowing. Remember, O Muhammad, when God showed them to you in your dream as few, and if He had shown them to you as many, you, believers, would have lost courage and would have disputed in the matter of whether to fight. But God saved you from that. Indeed, He is knowing of that within the breast. And remember when He showed them to you when you met as few in your eyes, and He made you appear as few in their eyes, so that God might accomplish a matter already destined, and to God are all matters returned. O you who have believed, when you encounter a company from the enemy forces, stand firm and remember God, much that you may be successful. And obey God and His messenger, and do not dispute and thus lose courage, and then your strength would depart. And be patient. Indeed, God is with the patient. And do not be like those who came forth from their homes insolently and to be seen by people and avert them from the way of God. And God is encompassing of what they do. And remember, when Satan made their deeds pleasing to them and said, "No one can overcome you today from among the people, and indeed, I am your protector." But when the two armies sided each other, he turned on his heels and said, "Indeed, I am disassociated from you. Indeed, I see what you do not see. Indeed, I fear God, and God is severe in penalty." Remember when the hypocrites and those in whose hearts was disease, that is arrogance and disbelief, said, "Their religion has deluded those Muslims, but whoever relies upon God, then indeed God is exalted in might and wise." And if you could but see when the angels take the souls of those who disbelieved, they are striking their faces and their backs and saying, "Taste the punishment of the burning fire." That is for what your hands have put forth of evil, and because God is not ever unjust to His servants. Theirs is like the custom of the people of Pharaoh and of those before them. They disbelieved in the signs of God, so God seized them for their sins. Indeed, God is powerful and severe in penalty. That is because God would not change a favor which He had bestowed upon a people until they change what is within themselves, and indeed, God is hearing and knowing. Theirs is like the custom of the people of Pharaoh and of those before them. They denied the signs of their Lord, so we destroyed them for their sins, and we drowned the people of Pharaoh, and all of them were wrongdoers. Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of God are those who have disbelieved, and they will not ever believe. The ones with whom you made a treaty, but then they break their pledge every time, and they do not fear God. So if you, O Muhammad, gain dominance over them in war, disperse by means of them those behind them, that perhaps they will be reminded. And if you have reason to fear from a people betrayal, throw their treaty back to them, putting you on equal terms. Indeed, God does not like traitors. And let not those who disbelieve think they will escape. Indeed, they will not cause failure to God. And prepare against them whatever you are able of power and of steeds of war, by which you may terrify the enemy of God and your enemy and other besides them whom you do not know but whom God knows. And whatever you spend in the cause of God will be fully repaid to you, and you will not be wronged. And if they incline to peace, then incline to it also, and rely upon God. Indeed, it is He who is the hearing, the knowing. But if they intend to deceive you, then sufficient for you is God. It is He who supported you with His help and with the believers, and brought together their hearts. If you had spent all that is in the earth, you could not have brought their hearts together, but God brought them together. Indeed, He is exalted in might and wise. O Prophet, sufficient for you is God, and for whoever follows you of the believers. O Prophet, urge the believers to battle. If there are among you 20 who are steadfast, they will overcome 200. And if there are among you 100 who are steadfast, they will overcome 1,000 of those who have disbelieved, because they are a people who do not understand. Now, God has lightened the hardship for you, and He knows that among you is weakness. So if there are from you 100 who are steadfast, they will overcome 200. And if there are among you 1,000, they will overcome 2,000 by permission of God. And God is with the steadfast. It is not for a prophet to have captives of war until he inflicts a massacre upon God's enemies in the land. You, that is, some Muslims, desire the commodities of this world, but God desires for you the hereafter. And God is exalted in might and wise. If not for a decree from God that preceded, you would have been touched for what you took by a great punishment. So consume what you have taken of war booty as being lawful and good, and fear God. Indeed, God is forgiving and merciful. O Prophet, say to whoever is in your hands of the captives, if God knows any good in your hearts, He will give you something better than what was taken from you, and He will forgive you, and God is forgiving and merciful. But if they intend to betray you, then they have already betrayed God before, and He empowered you over them, and God is knowing and wise. Indeed, those who have believed and emigrated and fought with their wealth and lives in the cause of God, and those who gave shelter and aided, they are allies of one another. But those who believed and did not emigrate, for you there is no guardianship of them until they emigrate. And if they seek help of you for the religion, then you must help, except against a people between yourselves and whom is a treaty. And God is seeing of what you do. And those who disbelieved are allies of one another. If you do not do so, that is, ally yourselves with other believers, there will be fitna, that is, disbelief and an oppression on earth and great corruption. But those who have believed and emigrated and fought in the cause of God, and those who gave shelter and aided, it is they who are the believers, truly. For them is forgiveness and noble provision. And those who believed after the initial immigration and immigrated and fought with you, they are a few. But those of blood relationship are more entitled to inheritance in the decree of God. Indeed, God is knowing of all things.